On a beautiful sunny day in June, members of the St. Louis Rock Club, officially known as the St. Louis Minerals and Gem Society, journeyed to the northeast corner of Missouri. The purpose of this field trip was to go prospecting for geodes along the Fox River. The 49-mile-long Fox River is in a geographical area called the Warsaw Formation, named after the town of Warsaw, Illinois. The Warsaw Formation is a geologic formation in Illinois, Iowa, and Missouri. It preserves fossils dating back to the Mississippian age, some 330 to 350 million years ago. In this area of the state, the formation is about 40 feet thick and consists mainly of fine to coarse, crystalline limestone and shale, with geodes being fairly common. The term geode is used for a special kind of rock that is round or somewhat round in shape and comes from a Greek word meaning earth-shaped. Geodes can be round like a ball or oblong and flattened a bit, and sometimes they are irregular in shape. Some are hollow and lined with beautiful layers and clusters of various mineral crystals, but others are completely filled in solid by the minerals. Of course, it's the hollow geodes that most rockhounds hope to find. Geodes can be less than 1 inch to more than 2 feet in diameter, but 3 to 5 inches is the average size. They're usually not found randomly here and there, but rather they are found in larger numbers where there is a special geologic environment, like the area of the Warsaw Formation that we visited. Here the geodes are known as sedimentary geodes, which generally occur in sedimentary deposits such as limestones, dolomites, or shales. Although geodes can be found throughout many states, the typical geode from this region has an outer shell of chalcedony, a type of quartz made of silicon dioxide. If hollow, the microenvironment inside the shell is an excellent place for crystal growth. The chalcedony shell, being much harder than the host rock of limestone and shale, helps to preserve the geode during weathering and erosion. As the weaker host rock is eroded over time, the geodes weather out and remain behind. That's when they're most easily collected, when they are washed into a creek or a stream like the Fox River, where they get stranded in the silt and sediment. They generally are easy to see because of their shape and the texture of their outer shell. It reminds me of cauliflower, and you can easily develop a trained eye to spot them. We were graciously invited to prospect along the river on private property owned by Amish families in 2 different sections of the river. The first site we visited was towards the southeast, and later that day we went to another site upstream to the northwest. The Amish folks happily assisted us with transporting our buckets of geodes and gear from the river. We had several nice advantages that day. The weather was perfect, the river was shallow and warm, and the bright sunshine was most important for allowing us to see the river bottom. Once you simply waded into any area of the river, the water became obscure with sand and sediment, and you could no longer see the bottom. We slowly walked upstream to minimize that problem. As we walked along the gravel bar towards the stream bed, there were reminders to let you know that you were really in geode country. Someone left this monster behind because it was just too heavy to lug off the river. A good sign that it was probably solid, too. I managed to dig out this large geode just for the fun of it, and although it was a bit of a chore, I managed to bring it back home. Some geodes can be found by digging or excavating the host rock, but it's harder work, of course, and the geodes are more easily damaged. Even in the river, one can find geodes already broken in half or even in pieces. I collected 46 geodes from the southeastern site, with 27 of them, close to 2/3, being solid, and 19 were hollow. Of the 12 geodes collected at the northwestern site, 8 of them, again 2/3, were solid, and 4 were hollow. It's interesting to note that in both cases, pretty much only 1/3 of the geodes collected were hollow. It takes practice to be good at determining the solid ones from the hollow ones. I'd say it's a bit of an art. You might think a geode is solid, when in reality it may have a small cavity in the very center lined with crystals. You just never know.
Hi everybody, I'm at the local hardware and tool rental center, and I'm going to go inside and see if they have a chain style pipe wrench, which is usually used to cut pipe with. Let's go see if they have one. Oh, nice. This heavy-duty chain has hardened steel discs in the center, and when wrapped around an object and tightened, it creates a line of pressure points, which is perfect for breaking open geodes. That's what I'm going to go do. So what I like about this tool is it does a good job of gripping the geode on this difficult dimension here on the flat side, which is how you want to break it open so it's like a dish. Because of those steel wheels, you know, you put a nice line of stress points and it breaks open. Nicely. Usually. The secret is taking your time and making sure you have the right grip, and if you don't, stop and readjust. And of course, I wouldn't think about doing this without safety goggles. Position this as close as you can in the center, which isn't always easy, but you can use the ground to help you. Then you just tighten it. You want it loose enough to work with it, but you don't want it too tight, because then you won't be able to adjust it. You can start to tighten it. There, that's about as good as I'm going to get it. It's not quite equal, but I don't think it has to be perfect. It's difficult. And then you just slowly take your time. You don't have to do this rapidly, you just want it to crack in half. There we go. Aha, that went solid. It's filled with quartz. So some of them are going to be solid. So the old saying is, a geode is a mystery, but once you open it up, it's a wonder. I'm going to break this one like this. And then you just slowly increase the pressure. Another solid one. There we go. Got some quartz crystals in that one. Interesting. That one's got some nice crystal formations in there. And you never know which way to break them, you know, that's part of the mystery too. This is the hard part, is lining it up and keeping it in position where you want it to. Or is that just a piece? Oh.
There we go. That was a toughie. Quartz again. This is the very first geode that I ever found myself and cracked open myself. And what a delight it was when it popped open, nice and clean and pretty sparkly and beautiful inside. Well, this one's more unusual in that it's more micro. The crystals are micro. So it would look especially good with a magnifying glass.